Hello to our viewers at home. I'm Natalie Reyna with SailPoint, and this is Identity Talks. And today we have a very special guest, Sam Tang with EY, a leading global SailPoint partner. Today we're going to talk about how EY helps organizations manage their identity challenges while working through business transactions such as mergers, acquisitions, and divestitures. In 2018 alone, there were more than 1,000 US acquisitions totaling more than $100 million. And in a recent EY survey, they found that in the next 2 years, that's expected to double, which poses a lot of cybersecurity challenges. So Sam, thanks for being on.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so let's just talk about, let's just say I'm an organization and I'm going to go through an acquisition. How can I ensure that I'm going to be productive from day one during an M&A?
Sure. Day one actually has a specific definition in the M&A and divestiture business transaction. So we've been working with our counterparts in sister practices on the business process side that are experts in M&A. So we were actually, when we were building this solution based on the SailPoint Identity IQ technology, we actually use them as our consultants for them to teach us as to what to be on the lookout for. And I'm going to throw out a term called TSA, because that drives a lot of what the mandates are and what people need to do within the M&A and divestiture. And a TSA stands for transaction, not the airline TSA. It's actually it's transactional services agreement. It's the agreement from a buyer to seller. It's usually divesting and then the agreement. But nonetheless, regardless of the TSA, there's always mandates for what people consider as day one. And day one is defined as the buyer's ability to assume administrative responsibilities. Yeah. So what that means is that on day one, that's the day when the buyer takes over the administrative activities for the people that are coming from the other company. Yeah. So, and what that means is that you have to coordinate the turning off of access from the seller, and you have to turn on access for the buyer, for these people that are coming in. So typically, it's not a black and white, and you just move all these people over and it's done. Usually there's a transitional period as well, where you need to grant people access to both environments for a period of time, because there is the transition. And that's why day one is so important when it comes to M&A and divestiture, because that's your gauge and that's your evaluation as to how ready you are for the buying company to be ready to assume the administration of access for these people coming in. Yeah.
In a recent white paper called Securing Sea Changes, Successfully Navigating Top Identity Challenges, EY and you mentioned that M&A and divestitures can be an excellent catalyst for identity improvement. So why is that, and how can organizations make their identity ecosystem more complex and better?
No, so in all of our clients that we're in right now, that we're actually doing a lot of business transactions like these, we focus on agility, and the agility usually in the identity world usually starts with the workforce. And the workforce is what I'm talking about is the workforce management side of IA. And the reason why that is because if you think about M&A and divestiture, a lot of the use cases that we are, first of all, the first question is, how well are you equipped to manage the life cycle events of an identity? When somebody gets hired, are you equipped to do birthright provisioning? When somebody gets terminated, are you equipped to remove their access immediately? Risk exposure. And everything in between. Job changes, location changes, going on leave, and so on and so forth. Yeah, those are well defined. And in addition to that, what you see from an M&A and divestiture is that you have an additional use case that's much more complex than just the ones that I just mentioned, which typically are the use cases we cover, is company change. So when you move from one company to another company, you need to lose access in one and gain access in another. And just treating them, a lot of people just approach it by treating one termination here and a rehire over here, or a new hire over on this side. But that could damage some access because of transitional period. Yeah. So, and what I would say here is the way that people should be taking advantage of the M&A is, number one, improve their posture on workforce management and how they deal with life cycle management, and do a move to a cloud strategy first. So as part of the migration, move people to the cloud. Yeah. So don't add more technical debt to the on-prem, and simplify the user journeys that you have to deal with, simplify the controls that are in place, and simplify the technology implementations that you have. And lastly, embrace automation if you have not done so already. So those are the things that I always tell my client when it comes to taking advantage of a business transaction like this, because they do have the chance to improve their posture in their IAM ecosystem.
That's great advice. My last question is, what if I'm a company that lacks any kind of resources or identity program whatsoever? How can we make sure those people are successful? What can they do? You kind of touched on that, but can you elaborate a little more?
So let me start by describing the companies that were very successful in an M&A transaction or a divestiture transaction. The things that they did well, yeah, first, and then we can talk about what people have to do. And those clients that were very successful in adapting to M&A and divestiture are those places that focus on workforce management and strategy. They already have a good handle on what the life cycle events are for the workforce. They have already done a simplification of user journeys, simplifying the access request workflows, simplifying the automated provisioning workflows, simplifying the lifecycle events, and as to what happens in unifying that logic, embrace analytics and intelligence to create visibility and awareness. Knowing what you're managing is very important. And a company that's very mature in their cloud strategy, in the movement of cloud strategy. And they have also implemented solutions that satisfy these strategies. Yeah, okay. But those four things I just mentioned, notice that the last thing I said was those companies that have implemented solutions to satisfy those four. Those four things, you don't really need technologies or IAM technology to do. Start with those. Focus on how to manage the workforce and what the logic is for detecting and how to manage life cycle for these identities. Simplify the process it takes to actually manage the identities, the movement of the identities. Start analytics and intelligence. There's got to be some technology that they can use to really better understand, to start clean up the environment before the M&A happens. The smaller, the simpler the environment, the easier the M&A. Move to the cloud. So those are the four things that people can do, regardless if they have any identity technology or not.
Sam, thank you for your expertise. It's really eye-opening how identity can be an enabler during complex transactions such as mergers, acquisitions, and divestitures. This is Identity Talks. Thanks for your time, and we'll be back with more.
Thanks for having me. Bye-bye.